What's up everyone, Apple finally released iOS 12.1 30 years later, and we're going to take a look at it on the iPhone 8. Now this update actually was pretty crazy for a 0.1 release, I would say. Usually we only get like incremental features, but Apple promised us some features in the keynote and they finally delivered for some of them, and we'll get into those in a second, but more integral stuff. This update came out around a little bit over half a gigabyte, which is pretty crazy, 512.5 megabytes. So it's a pretty large update. And between all my regular size variants, the iPhone 8, 6S, 7, and 6, even the 5S, this was the phone that had the largest sized update, so that's pretty crazy. Now, of course, that is just temporary, so they pretty much just download and they delete it after, but that's still pretty crazy, about the largest I've seen so far in a 0.1 release. But in terms of the storage saved, before on iOS 12.0.1, I had 51.13 gigs left on my phone. And now after updating, I have 51.17 gigs. So it did take up a little bit, about 0.1, about like 0.2 whatever gigs. So that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. You know, I'm not complaining too much because of the features that we got straight up in this update. Now, one of the main ones is actually FaceTime. Now I have FaceTime disabled here, but it's not FaceTime, it's group FaceTime. So now you can group FaceTime with up to 32 people, which is pretty cool. Before we could not do that, and now we actually have that capability. So, and I actually kind of like the layout a little bit. And if you don't know how to group FaceTime, probably make a video tomorrow about how to do it. So keep it locked down on the channel if you're curious on how to do it. But it's super easy, and that's one of the coolest features so far on iOS 12, and one of the ones that I was like hyping up about. So that's pretty cool. Now another thing they added was actually 70 new emojis, and I'm not too sure which ones they are, but they are there. I think there's like a bagel one or something, I honestly don't even remember. But there's now 70 new ones on iOS 12.1, so that's super cool. And I'm glad they're doing that. I mean, I love emojis. I feel like they break the ice a lot of the times. If you don't have something to respond to, just like put like 5 emojis there and you're like, all right, that's it later. But I like emojis a lot, and that's super cool. And really this update, besides those two main things, was really just like a bunch of bug fixes. Now, there were a lot of features that were added for the newer iPhones, and I'll get into those in a second. But for the iPhone 8 specifically, just a lot of bug fixes, a lot of back-end stuff. Those were the two main ones that were added though. For the new iPhones, the XS and XS Max, they did do a fix for Beauty Gate, if you guys remember. That was pretty much like smoothing people's face and making them look better than they are, which was really weird because I think that's kind of a good thing, but a lot of people didn't like it. So they just fixed it with this update. And they also added eSIM support for the new XS and XS Max. So that's super cool. If you're going to a different country or something like that, you can now take advantage of that secondary SIM slot and use the eSIM there too. So that's super cool. And like I said, overall, just a bunch of other bug fixes and stuff like that. Now, I did run a benchmark, and on iOS 12.0.1, I had a multi-core score of 206,014, and I just reran it, and it actually did go up to 219,017, so you're going to see a little bit of a speed increase going up to iOS 12.1, so that's super cool. And you know, you're probably going to find the performance to be exactly the same. You're not going to probably notice it to be that much faster if you're going from 12.0.1, but if you're coming from iOS 11 or anything like that, you will probably see this phone being more stable and probably overall a little bit more quicker as well. Now, I'm going to do a speed comparison tomorrow for all my iPhones that I'm doing on this channel, so keep it locked down on here. I'm going to be comparing it to iOS 12.0.1 to see if it's a little bit faster here and there. I mean, we'll kind of see, but besides that, I would ultimately say definitely go and update. Unless you want to jailbreak, then stay where you are, but other than that, it's a worthwhile thing. It's just making your phone more stable, and I don't see anything inherently wrong with it. I didn't have any problems downloading it or anything, so this update has my seal of approval, guys. And that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well, my Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. I do a lot more iOS comparisons and stuff like that, so I really appreciate if you guys could check that channel out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.